Picture this. You built a business over the years, you spent a lot of money, a lot of effort, you bought this cleaning equipment worth over millions of naira, and you invested almost a lifetime building a business, and at the end of the day, your children cannot inherit it and you cannot sell it. Now, this is the case of a lot of people that build their business without a system. A system, as often as you might have heard it from people saying it, is not something complicated. It's not a software. It is just a documentation of how you do things in your business. I used to have a boyfriend where in my higher institution, he was studying medicine. His mom is a doctor. He came from a family of medical doctors, literally. And his dad used to have a pharmacy, a pharmaceutical center, which was one of the most popular pharmaceutical center in Kwara State at that point in time. But guess what? After the father died, they had to close down this pharmaceutical center. Not because they could not go on, not because there were no finances, not because there were nobody inside the house, or he didn't have children or relatives to handle it, but because they literally do not know how things operate. They didn't know where he got the drugs from, how everything was documented, how to know maybe when some certain type of drugs are exhausted on the counter, how to replace them, how the staffs are being onboarded into the company. Nobody knew anything, and there was no proper documentation for all these things. So they had to close up because nobody was ready to inherit chaos, and definitely nobody was ready to buy chaos at the same time. And that was how this business, a lifetime investment of time, effort, and everything, that was how this business closed down. Do not want it to be you in this situation, and that is why I'm going to be starting this series on how to create system for your business. We're just going to be doing an introduction to the system in this video, where I'm going to be taking you through what a system actually means, why you need to create system in your business, which I believe I'm already doing, how to create a system, how to document it, how to implement it, and all of that thing around system. Next, we're going to be talking about booking client systems, onboarding systems, and every other type of system that you might need to create for your cleaning business in other videos. For this video, we're limiting it to what a system is, why it is necessary, how to build a system, how to save it or store it, where to put it, and all of that things around building a system. Now let's get right into the video. Do not be confused by the grammar. A system is not an app, it is not a software, it's not anything complicated. It is simply a documentation of everything you do in your business, like step by step. It is like a documentation, a checklist of everything that happens in your business. And it can be handwritten, it can be maybe on your computer, anywhere that seems easy for you, because with system you're not trying to impress anybody, you're just trying to transfer responsibility to anybody that might be coming into your business at any point in time. Some examples of system might be how a staff enters a client's home. Maybe before you enter a client's home in your company, maybe they need to remove their shoes and put on a disposable nylon shoe. Maybe they are supposed to greet their client in a certain type of way. Maybe they're supposed to introduce themselves in a certain type of way. Maybe they're supposed to start from a particular place. You know, things. It can be how you book clients. As soon as a client gets into your DM, the first message that you send, that can also be a system. When you've experienced a client booking you before, and some phrases that you said actually helped you win that contract or win that sales or win that booking, you also document it. That is a system. It can work as a booking system for you. So it's literally a documentation of everything that has worked for you in growing your business. Other type of system might be how payments are made, how you follow up, how cleanings are done, you know, a lot of things, or how clients are being or how staff are being onboarded, or even how you get clients in your business. All these things are system and ought to be documented for every business. And if it is not written, it is not a system, it is just memory. And as we all know, as humans, we forget. Things happen, we leave. You do not always remember things that worked for you, except you've put it down. Now, why does this system even matter? If you're already growing a cleaning business and everything looks chubby, everything is thriving, and you think you do not need a system, this is why you do need it. Number one, you have inconsistent service. There will be a lot of times that people will love your service. Maybe you offer a particular kind of service to a client and they're like, oh, excellent, tremendous, we love your service, please, I want you to send your staff over to do it again next time. And the next time you go, Even whether it's with you or just with your workers, there will always be a difference in your delivery, because you do not have a system. You do not have a particular routine as per how you deliver these things. Maybe as soon as you enter a house, the first time when it was 5-star review, maybe you started from the top, and the second time maybe you were nervous and you didn't really have a system, as you just started from maybe the bottom, for example. So there will always be irregularities with the way you deliver your service once you don't have a strict system that you follow on how to deliver your services. Number two, your staff will always want to do things on their own, and this is very normal to humans. When you have staffs and you do not have rules and regulations guiding them, they will always want to do things on their own discretion, and this is what happens in maybe even rendering services to clients. Number three, you will end up repeating yourself countless number of times to your staff, because you've said this thing, I don't want to do. You said it one time, I don't want to do. You keep on saying this because you don't have a documented system and an implementation level on how to actually implement those systems to see that they actually follow the system strictly. Another very important reason why you should have a system, which I think I already mentioned before, is the fact that nobody's going to buy chaos from you, and this is why people are very, very mindful of buying service-based business, especially cleaning business, laundry business, especially those that do not have a system. Millions and thousands of business out there do not have a system. They are honestly just running their business based on survival. A lot of people just open maybe a cleaning business or laundry business just to survive, just to have their daily 2k. Not everybody is thinking long term, but you are watching this video because you are actually thinking long term, and I'm going to guide you through. Now, how is this system actually created? There are a lot of ways you can create system depending on what feels okay with you. It can be voice notes, it can be as simple as voice notes, it can be a video. Maybe you take a video of yourself you take a training video of yourself, maybe cleaning a house, how you enter a house, like literally demonstrating to your staff, like, this is how you enter a house, this is how you behave, these are the gestures, this is how to start. That can also be a system, a training video. It can be documented, maybe handwritten, a pen and paper. It can be documented on the computer, maybe typed and saved on some kind of Google Drives, or it can be on a WhatsApp group. It can be series of ways. There's no perfect way to actually have a system. All you need to do is just to compile it, put it in a place that will be safe and be accessible. Number two step on creating your system is that you have to make it step by step. You literally have to have it in mind that, oh, this person that is going to be seeing this system doesn't know anything about cleaning, or doesn't know anything as per how to do this particular thing. You remember how they used to teach us how to operate computer system? Then you'll be like, plug your computer cable, press the on and off button. No, step by step. That is how your system should come. Number three is for you to focus on simplicity. When you are creating your system, you want to make sure things are simple as possible. Just bullet points. Do this, remove unnecessary things. And number four is that you have to name the system. Every system should come with its own title and naming. It can be booking system, it can be staff onboarding system, it can be marketing system, it can be cleaning checklist system. There are a lot of systems that you need to have as a business owner, ranging from how to even manage your clients, ranging from rules and regulations, how some kind of behaviors will be punished, how some kind of behaviors will be rewarded. All these things need to be documented and titled according. And now next we're going to be talking about how to actually document this system. Now bear in mind, the documentation of your system is the leadership on paper, and there are several ways you can go about it. You can either document your system on Google Docs. It can be maybe on this Ziploc file where you just create a folder. It can be on Google Drive. It can be on WhatsApp group, Telegram groups, just quite a number of them depending on the one that suits you. Right. Also be on Notion, where you can share workspace with your staff. As long as you're able to find a software that can combine videos, pictures, voiceover, screenshots, document in one folder. So whichever one works best for you, you can just go ahead and work with it. Bear in mind is that you are not documenting your system to impress anybody. This is not for anybody yet. You are actually documenting it to transfer responsibility. So you want to make it as simple as possible. And this leads us to how to actually implement the system after you've documented them. Now, a system that is not implemented is just a stupid piece of information. So you have to make sure your systems are actually implemented right from the time that you are the only one handling your business. You need to make sure that you are following your systems. Then it makes it easy for you to actually transfer this and make others actually implement it. Now let's talk about how to really get staffs to implement it. One is by walking them through the standard operation procedure, which is walking them through the SOP. You have to walk them through, show them before they even have to ask you for anything. When there's no training, there's no accountability. You want to train them and let them practice, and then you correct them early. And then with time, you need to constantly reinforce it, maybe in meetings, in groups. You have to constantly reinforce it and reward compliance. People that actually implement it, you make sure you reward them. And then from time to time, you want to check in and see how people are doing, making sure that they're actually implementing the systems as it should be. One thing you need to bear in mind is that if you want to grow a business, it is not all about doing more, it is about repeating better. And when it comes to system, it helps you gain consistency with different staff. A client can book you today, you send this team of staff to them, they book you tomorrow, you send another team of staff to them, but they will all get the same result, consistent results from all of them, because they are following one system. They are working together in one soul but different bodies. That's what creating a system literally does for your business: coordination and organization. So you can actually be working in different locations and you'll be following one format, or the people will be getting the same result. Definitely be times when you want to update the system, maybe because of new policies or new tech innovations, or maybe some mistakes or confusion, or maybe things just improve. There will always be room for improvement, and as humans, the only thing that is permanent is change. So there will always be times where you want to change some things. This is absolutely okay, and this is when you need to update the system. But whenever you want to update a system, you have to make sure you don't do it all silently. After it has been updated, you want to call a meeting so that everybody knows that things has changed and this is the new way to go about it. And finally, this leads us to how to actually store your system. Now, this might be one of the most important parts of this video, because if you do not store your system, if you do not have your system where it will be implemented, it's going to be a lot of chaos. If people have to be traveling back and forth, or to call you, or to call somebody to ask for a way to do this, it's not going to work. It's not going to be implementable. So there are different ways you can actually implement system. One of which, the first and foremost, is to have a main location, more or less like the headquarters. This can be the website, it can be a particular location where everybody can access it. It can be a document on a particular hard drive, or maybe a cabinet. So this is like the headquarters. This is where everything that has to do with a system for a particular company is locked, role based. So after you have a main location, you want to have a way you'd store your system based on roles. For example, cleaners should have a particular place that they have all their systems. Maybe supervisors should have a particular place that they have all their system. Managers should also have a particular place that they have all their system, and it should be accessible to these different people, maybe based on fingerprint, password, or maybe just general accessibility, maybe a key to a cabinet or something, depending on the place you are storing the information. And the next layered way of accessing it is point of access. Now, you want to make sure that your system is available at the place that is going to be used. For example, your cleaners, you want to make sure that their checklist, their standard operation procedures for anything they want to do as cleaners is available to them on every site. So it can be you printing checklists, it can be you printing the tracker, anything that they're going to be using on site, you can print it out for them. Or maybe have a QR code that will be on their shirt, on maybe a bucket, or something, so that they can easily have access to it and they don't have to panic and go back and forth before they access it. This makes it easy for them to implement the system. Another way is maybe your supervisors and all that. You can have the system maybe on WhatsApp group. So the idea around it is that you detail, or you single out all this system into the places that it will be used. People that are in charge of booking clients, you want to make sure they have some template messages, or maybe the notes or journal or WhatsApp group or Telegram group where they can easily copy and paste it to the client. Your system is not where the action will take place, it will not be implemented. Let's talk about visual reminders. These are very key, like key reminders, things that you always want your staff to have in mind. These are things you want to put on your notice board, like your posters or stuff like that. It can be 5 things to do before leaving a client's house, you put it there. Maybe another one you put on the notice board, like 5 things to do before entering a client's house, or 5 things to always remember before going to a client's house, or how to prepare yourself to go and clean a 2-bedroom or a post-construction cleaning. You remind them of things to pick and all this, how to actually organize themselves. This is the system, and these are some of the things that you should actually have on your notice board. However, you do not need to have everything on your notice board. There are some confidential details that shouldn't actually be on the notice board. Items like full SOP, systems on, maybe guarantor form and so many other things. Your staff policy form can definitely be there. Terms and condition doesn't have to be there, honestly. So you want to be very, very discretional on what to put on your notice board and what not to put on your notice board. Other things can be like a flow chart explaining one step to another what is supposed to be done. This like drawing or flow charts where you say, okay, when you start from here, just like a summarization of how they should go about cleaning. So there are so many other things or so many ideas that you can put on your notice board, ranging from the flow charts, posters, reminders, update, announcement, and and this leads us to the end of this video, where we're going to be talking about training and onboarding of system. Now, as soon as a staff get into your company, you want to make sure you take the first step to actually train them and onboard them with the system must be introduced, not enforced. You have to introduce it, not that you enforce it. So introducing it actually means training them, allowing them to practice and correcting early. Not that maybe after 3 months, 6 months, you now want to enforce all of the sudden. It's a gradual thing, and it's a culture. It is a culture on repeat for every company. So one of the simplest way to actually introduce the culture is by making sure you have welcome kits to your staff. It can be physical welcome kits, it can be digital welcome kits. I do digital because most of the people I employ have Android phone. In fact, I literally don't like to work with people that don't have Android phone, so that I can just send them digital welcome kits. You just send them, you make sure they've watched the video, and maybe they give you feedback on what they saw, what they understood from the video, and how it should be done. There are other ways you can actually welcome them or introduce them to the system, which are ranging from maybe the WhatsApp group. Maybe in the WhatsApp group, you send them some messages immediately, or you have some pinned message. There are so many ways you want to introduce them as soon as possible. And then after that, you want to make sure you give them room to train and you correct as early as possible. And that's literally the end of this video. If anything doesn't sit right with you, be sure to leave your questions in the comment section. I'll be more than willing to answer them. And that'll be the end of this video. I'm going to see you guys in the next video, where we're going to be talking about how to actually create a booking system for your cleaning business. Bye. I'll see you in my next video.